Cartels aren't just exploiting the southern border. Right now, they're moving weapons across the 5,500-mile U.S. Canada frontier, using legal blind spots to stay invisible. Tonight, how a cross-border task force exposed the pipeline and what finally stopped it.
Cartels aren't just at the southern border. They're exploiting the 5,500-mile U.S. Canada frontier right now. And a weapons pipeline feeding them was built on our jurisdictional gaps. In this video, we reveal how a joint task force tracked that pipeline across state lines and into Canada, why real-time data sharing, not more fences, became the decisive edge, and how agencies are upgrading with scalable platforms to outpace traffickers. The stakes aren't abstract. Every gun moved, every pill pressed, represents a life. Here's how the bust happened and what comes next. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Why did a weapons pipeline move faster across a quiet northern frontier than along the fortified south? Because the route north offered speed, cover, and fewer tripwires. While patrols concentrated on deserts and walls, the flow pivoted to lake country and the freight veins that feed Ontario's warehouses and rail yards. The shift grew from a simple equation. Mexican and Venezuelan operators already relied on Chinese precursor suppliers to keep synthetic drug lines running. Those same logistics brokers stepped into the Great Lakes belt, where cross-border trucking blends with weekend boat traffic and seasonal tourism. A pallet marked as machine components rides from a Midwest industrial park to a Buffalo cross-dock, then slips into a Toronto-bound container. It looks like normal trade because most of it is. The needle hides in the haystack of real commerce. The mismatch starts with terrain and rules. The Northern Line runs more than 5,500 miles through forests, tribal lands, national parks, and rivers that split towns but unite families. Patrol density shifts by hour and by county. A sheriff's office with 10 deputies covers a county the size of a small nation, while federal teams rotate between ports and remote crossings. Add statutes that change at a river bend. A part legal to possess in one state becomes a controlled firearm component 1 mile over, and Canadian definitions diverge again. Watch how a run plays out. A gray van leaves a storage unit near Duluth with 3 crates labeled metal hardware. It swaps plates after crossing a state line, then again before dawn near a toll road. No chase, no sirens. Just a quiet move to a lakeside marina where a small fishing boat takes 2 crates to a cottage dock. The parts include unfinished receivers and conversion switches, legal to ship as metal parts in one place, flagged as prohibited devices just across the water. The final machine work happens in a basement that doubles as a packing room. The data supports the gap. There are only a finite number of northern ports of entry spread across a frontier that remains largely unfenced and unlit, with long stretches of river and logging roads functioning as de facto corridors. Regions like the St. Lawrence River draw regular attention for smuggling because a fast boat can cross in minutes and vanish among islands, boathouses, and feeder coves. Remote timber routes and utility easements add dozens of lanes that never show up on a port roster. Technology greases the run. Couriers never say gun or switch. Encrypted chats push times, mile markers, and fuel stops. Ghost gun kits list as repair parts. Conversion devices ride as industrial fasteners. Customs codes, if misapplied, bury them under harmonized numbers that look unremarkable. A broker arranges a split bill of lading so one crate appears as tooling while another travels as scrap. The wider logistics ecosystem helps. Financial and sanctions alerts about fuel theft and crude smuggling point to shared trucking, storage, and laundering nodes. The same drivers and shell companies that move off-spec waste oil at a discount can shuttle metal and cash the other direction. Money services layer deposits in small towns where a teller knows every rancher by name, which makes the movement feel local and harmless. Here's the friction point. Local officers see a boat loading at odd hours, a van that always fuels one town over, or a parts shipment that never reaches a retail shelf. But the live mosaic stays scattered. Mutual legal assistance requests sit in queues. Databases don't talk cleanly across agencies or borders. By the time a lead sinks, the next run has already cleared the lake. So what makes the northern border vulnerable? Sheer scale, water routes that double as highways, patchwork laws, and slow information pipes that fast networks exploit. When those pipes gained speed in Toronto, the mosaic finally started to resolve. A seminar in Toronto wasn't a talk shop. It became the playbook for a live takedown across 2 countries. RCMP Central Region Federal Policing hosted it with Jeek Leet and the National Sheriff's Association's Border Security Committee. The agenda sounded routine. Swap lessons, map risks, test tools. What happened next turned that agenda into an operation. Teams walked out with shared channels, duty rosters, and a clock running on a weapons run feeding cartel cash cycles. The unified approach formed fast. DOJ's Joint Task Force Alpha pushed its expansion north, bringing U.S. attorneys from the Northern District of New York and Vermont into the fight. HSI took freight and customs leads. A TF focused on parts, kits, and switches. FBI handled threat finance and counter-network analysis. On the Canadian side, RCMP coordinated with municipal units in the GTA and cross-border detachments along river towns. Everyone moved to established rooms designed for real-time use, not email chains. Roles were clear. Who watches ports? Who covers marinas? Who writes the warrants when a van crosses into a new judicial district? The clock defined the risk. Couriers favored backroads and late ferries, slipping past patrols that rotate with thin staffing. One missed night, and the crates vanish into shops that finish receivers and pack them with solvent traps and conversion pieces. The same runs feed fentanyl cash back south on a reverse route. Every hour the case sat, the pipeline gained. Tools went live first. Spiderweb long-range cameras covered a cold stretch of shoreline, set to trigger on heat and motion near unlit docks. Outrider drones launched from gravel turnouts to sweep tree lines where trucks killed lights before a handoff. Analysts linked traffic cams, marina keycard hits, and way station pings, then spotted a strange cadence. Vehicles pausing for less than 3 minutes at 2-mile markers across different counties, always within a 10-minute window of a marina gate opening. Analysts pushed the dots together in encrypted rooms built for cross-border work. Using Adobe Connect, they dropped geofenced alerts that hit phones and laptops in under 90 seconds. Case packets carried license plate readers, probable cause notes tailored for each jurisdiction, and draft affidavits that a duty prosecutor could sign without retyping. When a driver crossed a county line, the next team already held the file and the legal hook matched local codes. A thread surfaced. A parts broker flagged in a prior export check reached out to a freight forwarder with a record of odd commodity codes. The broker had ties to a sanctioned CJNG associate. Bank monitoring kicked a set of alerts that matched FinCEN red flags. Small deposits stacked under reporting limits, then quick wires to a tool supplier. On the north side, a receiver near Oshawa placed orders for solvent traps and switches using a shell firm tied to a cottage on a river bend. Prosecutors pointed to JTFA results to keep pressure on. The task force logged over 410 arrests and more than 355 convictions, with over 305 significant sentences tied to smuggling networks. They cited a material support case in Texas involving alleged grenade procurement linked to CJNG to show where firearms and terror financing risks can overlap. That signaled courtroom appetite for hard charges if the parts run traced to designated entities.